Hello everyone, my name is Lara and welcome back to my series on makeup no-buys, where I discuss all things decluttering, minimalism, and how to stop buying and hoarding makeup. So the topic that I am discussing today is if you can have too much makeup. Is it possible to have too much? And what that looks like. So when I was doing research for this video, I came across a number of blogs, articles, and Reddit threads on this topic. Can a person have too much makeup? Now, there's a lot of dissent around this. Some people said yes, absolutely. Some said no, there's no such thing as too much makeup. But the most interesting response I thought was, yes, you can have too much makeup, but it can still be the right amount for you. I found that the people who tended to say no, there's no such thing as too much makeup, spoke about makeup as a collection thing because they are makeup collectors. Now, I know this is a big thing in the beauty industry and makeup collection is absolutely a real thing, especially when we look at limited releases. People want to buy everything from one line, but I don't think we can really compare makeup collecting to collectors of other sorts. I mean, when you think about like Pokemon cards, those things don't expire. Makeup is always going to expire, and therein it cannot last forever. Now, of course, it's not fair to compare makeup collectors to the general public, but what is the average amount of makeup that a makeup wearer owns? You may be surprised to hear this, but all the articles I came across said that the average makeup wearer owns 40 products on average. This is probably ludicrous to 90% of the people watching this video. You may have 40 individual lipsticks, but this is what the average person has. Whitney Hedrick actually did a very interesting video on determining the kind of makeup wearer that you are. I found this super helpful to me. So she ranks makeup wearers from 1 to 5, 1 being people who rarely wear makeup, only on special occasions, so they may just have a couple products, all the way up to 5, who are people who are makeup artists or use it as part of their career. I found that I ranked somewhere between a 3 and a 4, and the amount of makeup that you own tends to correlate to what number you have. So if you're a number 1, you have fewer products. If you're a number 5, you can imagine. So what I'm getting at here is the right size of a makeup collection differs depending on who the person is, how much they use makeup. So the right size for you is not going to be the right size for somebody else. What you consider too much makeup is not going to be the same as another person. To determine how much makeup is too much makeup, think about what you consider the ideal size of a makeup collection. And is there a limit to how much makeup you think a person should own? Or do you think there is no maximum and the more makeup I have, the better I will feel, the happier I will be with my collection? What is the perfect size for you, for your purposes? And then use that as a goal to build your makeup collection around. I found a really interesting thread on Reddit called Makeup Rehab, and everyone had different opinions on the proper size of a makeup collection, but someone made a really interesting point, which was the question of if your makeup products are friends, or acquaintances, or strangers, how often do you use them? When I was going through my makeup collection doing a no-buy, I found a lot of products that were strangers that I had forgotten about or that I had rarely used. Of course, the more products that are strangers, the worse that bodes for your collection. I think a good marker of your makeup collection being the perfect size for you is that you like all of the products and you use them at least occasionally. So you may have a couple of lipsticks that are super dark and you don't wear them regularly, but there are some special occasions where you do wear them. I think that's perfectly fine. But if you're using something because you feel like you should, if you have a ton of makeup products that you just plain never use or you dread using, that's probably a mark that your makeup collection is too big and you need to declutter some things. Now, I saw a lot of people talking about how they're aiming for a certain number of makeup products, and that is ideal. I know that in clothing capsule collections, they're aiming for 34 items or something like that. 10 shirts and 10 bottoms, whatever it is. But this doesn't work for me, and I don't think that it is the right way to think about makeup, though it may work for some people. I think that if you are aiming for a certain number of products, then you are missing the point of a curated makeup collection. As I said before, everyone has different needs and uses, and so that same formula, the same number, is not going to work for everyone. Restraining yourself to a certain set number of lipsticks or mascaras just seems limiting to me, and I don't think that a curated collection should be limiting. I think that's just going to make it much more difficult to try to attain a curated collection, and it's going to be much more difficult to stick to. Now, of course, I'd like to stress that I don't think that buying makeup should be about collecting in the first place, though this is why some people buy makeup. I think that the beauty community right now is way more about collecting and hoarding and buying new products whenever they're released, rather than focusing on what makeup is actually about, which is technique and improving. You don't need new makeup products in order to improve your technique. And this is not what's selling. This is not what's doing well in the makeup industry, because improving your technique is not going to sell new products. You can easily use what you already have to improve your technique. But this is a topic probably for another video. Now, getting back to the right amount of makeup products to have. Makeup takes a long time to finish, and this is something that I think we often forget. I've talked about this in many videos. So, should we only be buying new products when we finish old ones? If you can't use a product before it expires, do you have a collection that is too big for you? I saw some people talking about how it's hard to justify buying even a few new things a year if it takes you multiple years to finish products. So this brings up the question of if you should get rid of something every time that you bring in something new. I know that this has been talked about a lot in fashion spaces, especially in people who have minimal closets and capsule collections, this one in, one out system. So is the ideal size of a makeup collection only having what you can possibly use up before it expires, or is that far too restricting? Now, I may be asking more questions than I'm answering in this video, but I just wanted to get people thinking about these concepts and these ideas and really questioning the practice of buying makeup and the whole beauty community and industry at large. I personally think that it is okay to not finish your makeup before it expires if you think that the amount of makeup that you have is right for you. So if you are consistently using every product in your collection, I think this is where that idea comes in of you having too much makeup but it still being the right size for you. And I agree with this. You can have a makeup collection that is too big for the average person, but it is right for you. And this may mean that you can't use up all your products before they expire. But if you're using your whole collection and it makes you happy, then I think that that is okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are interested in these more in-depth sit-down talk-through videos about a particular issue in the makeup industry and beauty community, let me know. I would love to do a deep dive into more topics. But that is it for this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe down below. Feel free to check out some of my other videos in my no-buy series. I would love to hear from you about those ones. And that's gonna be it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. One being people who rarely wait.